What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. MTG here with another episode. If you're new to the channel, hi there. Today I've got OnePlus 13 and OnePlus 12, and I want to talk about them, the differences and what's new, and should you pick up the OnePlus 13 if you have the OnePlus 12? I think that answer is fairly straightforward, but I kind of want to share my thoughts and experience about it. So starting things off with design, the OnePlus 13 comes equipped with a glass front and a glass back, or you can get this silicone polymer back, which is eco leather, and it's a blue color, which is the one I prefer to pick up, and I absolutely love it. So when you're holding it in the hand, it doesn't really, it kind of holds on, like it has a good grip, so it doesn't really fall out of your hand. And it also has an aluminum frame, which I would have preferred to have been a matte finish. It also is IP69 dust and water resistant. It has a 6.82 inch display, 120 hertz AMOLED. It has always on. It supports Dolby Vision, HDR10 plus, and a peak brightness of 4,500 nits. So it's performing very good in the display department. When we look at the OnePlus 12, very similar. 6.82 inch Quad HD LTPO 120 hertz display, max peak brightness of 4,500 nits. We're getting IP65 dust and water resistant, so the levels are a little bit less than the OnePlus 13, but it all depends on how you really use the phone. It also does support Dolby Vision, HDR10 plus, and it has more of a, like, the corners are more rounded than the OnePlus 13 in my opinion, and the curves, while both of them, they're not that noticeable, especially on camera. You kind of have to look at them in person. There's definitely less of a curved display with the OnePlus 13. Hopefully next year they make it completely flat. But overall, they still feel like displays, when you look at them, they feel like futuristic phones. And I mean, I used the OnePlus 7 Pro before, and that had a curved display. Like, it was very noticeable, but it felt so futuristic. However, I would get accidental touches with both of these. I just got the OnePlus 13, so I haven't experienced any accidental touches. Same thing with the OnePlus 12, no issues whatsoever. There is a little bit of a design change from the back. We don't get a green color like this anymore, in a different texture. The camera cutout right here is just it's an own island type of thing, whereas with the OnePlus 12 it was kind of built into the side frame, which is also an aluminum, and it has that gloss to it. But I still do appreciate that OnePlus is continuing to keep the alert slider right here, and I think more companies should really follow suit. And the one thing I also did notice is, like, OnePlus 13 is looking to be a little bit more, especially with the side frame, kind of flattened out than the OnePlus 12, and that's just my personal preference. I like having a phone with a flat frame rather than a kind of curved and rounded frame. But again, that's just my personal preference right there. So it's not really worth upgrading, especially in terms of design. But OnePlus has found their own unique design for their phones. So when we come to the performance, obviously both of them are going to perform like champs. OnePlus devices in this department have always been awesome. So OnePlus 13 comes equipped with the latest Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset. You can get a model with 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. I have the higher end with 16 gigs of RAM and half a terabyte of storage, and this does come equipped with Oxygen OS plus 6 years of updates, 4 years of software updates, and 6 years of security updates, and the same goes for the OnePlus 12. Now, chipset wise, we're getting the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which is still not a slouch. And if you have the OnePlus 12 or any other phone with an 8 Gen 3 using in 2025, it's still going to perform like a beast. This also has the same capacity, up to 16 gigs of RAM and half terabyte of storage. It did run with Android 14 when it first released. It is now running Android 15, Oxygen OS 15, 4 years of software updates. So we got one major one. We're getting 3 more years, Android 16, 17, and 18. With the OnePlus 13, we're going to be getting Android 16, 17, 18, and hopefully Android 19. So I think 4 years is probably like the norm right now, where most people are keeping it for that long and then upgrading. I don't really know too many. I know people who hold their phones on for much longer, but I don't know that many. I know a couple, but it's just not the norm as of yet. But phones are getting so much better, so it only makes sense to hold on to your phone much longer. But just in the grand scheme of things with both of these devices, the performance and the use case and everything has been very similar. Like, I'm not here seeing which app opens quicker than the other or anything like that. I'm not doing any testing, any geek benchmark scores or anything like that. So that's, if you're looking for that on this channel, you probably have to look elsewhere. But on a day-to-day basis, I can recommend both of them, both in the software and the performance department. Now, when it comes to Oxygen OS, that's something that's a preference. Do you prefer it or not? I think OnePlus has come a long way with Oxygen OS, especially when they kind of shifted from the stock Android feel to their own custom user interface with Oxygen OS. But now it just feels so much more, I don't know, it feels like OnePlus. And it feels the closest thing to the OnePlus 7 Pro, which I still believe is peak OnePlus. But yes, in this department, they both perform like champs. And again, you should not upgrade if you have the OnePlus 12, especially if you're looking for better performance, because I don't think it's worth upgrading just for a Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset and 1 extra year of software updates. But again, that's just me. Now the cameras, they're a little bit different, but I still believe that this is the department that OnePlus continues to, I'm not saying neglect, but I feel like they're not putting 100% effort in. Maybe this is not their true flagship and one day they're going to release an Ultra. I don't know what it is, but they're still not putting in 100%. Again, I'm prefacing this throughout the entire video. These are my thoughts and what I've seen and my experience. So if you have your own, just let me know in the comments down below. It's always good to kind of go back and forth and comment with one another and have a good discussion. But let's break it down. So the OnePlus 13 has a triple camera setup, all 50 megapixels, a wide with OIS, a periscope telephoto, 3x optical zoom with OIS, and a ultra wide with 120 degrees of an angle. With the OnePlus 12, we're getting, again, triple camera setup, but this time we're getting a 50 megapixel wide, a 64 megapixel periscope telephoto with 3x optical zoom, and then a 48 megapixel ultra wide. And the results are good, both of them. Like, it's not worth upgrading from OnePlus 12 to 13 because of the cameras, but they're both decent and they'll get the job done. If you want to start making content, again, I think every phone that I talk about here on the channel is a great contender to start off your content career type of thing. If you want to start making content, whether it be talking about tech, whether it be talking about, I don't know, your favorite hobbies or anything like of that sort, photos and videos, whatever it may be. These are both good devices to start things off. I mean, I started with my LG G4, or not my G4, my G3 back in 2014, and that was a pretty decent camera at the time too, but I have since, upgraded to different devices as well. But photos and videos, they're good. They're decent, just they're not up there. They're not flagship quality up there. And I can't really rely on them 100%. Like with a Pixel 9 Pro XL, for example, that's a point and shoot. If I need to do just photos, I will bring the Pixel 9 Pro XL with me wherever I go. Now moving on into the battery department. Again, both of these are champs, but the OnePlus 13 performs slightly better, and that makes sense. It has a physically larger 6,000 milliamp hour battery, and the OnePlus 12 has a 5,400 milliamp hour battery. So physically larger, and then with the efficiency of the Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, it equates to better battery life. Easily getting 7 hours of screen on time with the OnePlus 12 paired with the 8 Gen 3. I'm getting about 6 to 6.5 hours-ish. Again, very great battery life, but it's just not up there with the OnePlus 13. And then with charging speeds, they're about the same. 80 watts of Super VOOC charging and then 50 watts of wireless charging. Again, you want to make sure you have the correct accessories for that specific 50 watts of wireless charging. If you don't have this like Air VOOC thing, then it's not going to charge at the full 50 watts. But it's crazy that we have that option too, if we have the correct accessories. So yeah, in the battery department, again, both great, but is it worth upgrading to the OnePlus 13? Probably not. And if you charge it, both of them charge 0 to 100 about 28 minutes wired. Wireless does take a little bit longer, but just 10-ish minutes longer, not that bad either. I usually charge it wired anyway, and because of that, like, I don't need to go to sleep and charge this. I wake up in the morning, charge it for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I'm all set to go and start my day. Moving on into the price category, here's where things are a little bit different as of right now. So the OnePlus 13 right here is $899. I got it when it pre-order started for the 512 gig model, 16 gigs of RAM. I'm sure that once that period does end, the higher storage model will go up in price. And then right now, at the time of this recording, there are trade-in deals, so definitely make use of that. I was going to originally trade in the OnePlus 12, but when I initially pre-ordered, they didn't have an option for OnePlus 12 or OnePlus Open, but now if you go on their site, it's there, which is kind of weird. Now, OnePlus is also still selling the OnePlus 12. 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage for $699, and the 16 gig RAM and 512 gig storage model for $799. So it's kind of, I don't know why they're selling the OnePlus 12. I can understand it, but at this point, I would recommend, if you are in the market looking at both of these devices, I would say, hey, look, for an extra $100, you're just going to get a much newer phone, upgraded chipset, and it performs a little bit better in each of those categories. It performs a little bit better in the battery department, in the software department. It performs a little bit better in the camera department. I personally like this design a little bit more, so I would say put in the extra $100, go with the OnePlus 13. But if you have a OnePlus 12, just wait. Wait until OnePlus 14 or OnePlus 15, whatever it may be, but I don't really see a need to upgrade to the OnePlus 13. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, definitely be sure to superman the like button, comment down below, and best of all, share this video because it really does help out the channel out a lot and will help push my content out to more people. And I also just want to give a quick shout out to Fiberborn for sending this case. They're not sponsoring this video, but they sent this case for the OnePlus 13, and I absolutely love it. It's become my main case. And I know OnePlus has official cases that have MagSafe built in, like this one from Fiberborn, but this one is just, it's thin, but it's also protective. It has MagSafe. I absolutely love it, and it's easy to kind of put on and take off. I usually take off my cases when I'm at home, just relaxing. Because look, I love how this phone looks, and I just don't want to always have a case on. But whenever I go outside, just pop on this Fiberborn case, and I'm all set to go. If you use the link in the description down below, you should get 15% off. That's code MTG Productions to get 15% off your order. Anyway, that's been it from me. I hope you guys did enjoy. I'll catch you guys in the next video.